Hello everyone, welcome to Apple, and today what we're going to be talking about, relatively simply, is we're going to be talking about the ways to convert people to a political party. And we're going to touch on this a little bit briefly in my politics and stereotypes video, but just for now, I'm just going to talk about 3 ways to convert people to your belief. Alright, these are the 3 ways, and there might be more, but these are the 3 ways that just exist now. First way is convincing the other party that convincing people that the other party is stupid, ignorant, that kind of thing. Convincing people that the other side is bogging down humanity, bogging down progress, that kind of thing. Second way is convincing people that the other party is evil. Convincing them that they're trying to take over, that they're evil. And if you don't believe me, look at any rebellion, revolution. That's what they did. And that's either one, that's what they did. I will tell you that no revolution or rebellion has used the third way. For sure. Like, just 100% for sure. Maybe they try to seem like they were, but not legitimately. The third way is actually convincing them of your beliefs. Having a legitimate debate, providing facts, logical reasoning of those facts, interpretation of the facts, that kind of thing. That would be the third way. And, again, I said this in the politics and stereotypes, I don't see that. I've never seen that in my entire life. And although I'm not very old, I've never really seen that, ever, at least on the big boys, and even on the big boys, big power, whatever, but especially on the smaller scale too. I've never really seen that before, never really. And right now, both sides in American politics are kind of using the first and second ways. You can make the interpretation for yourself which side's doing what, but both sides are using, both sides, I'll say, one's using one using the other, and it's you can make your interpretation of yourself, like actually haven't said it yet, but I will say this, the whole point, I'm not here to really perpetuate my personal beliefs that much, and I'm not gonna say any I'm not gonna say any subjective things. I'm mostly gonna try to say objective things as much as possible, and obviously I'm gonna provide my interpretations of facts, obviously, but I'm not gonna just say things that is more or less subjective. But you can make your interpretations which side is using bogging down humanity, stupid, ignorant, other side, convincing the other side, or which one's saying which side is evil, right? And that's not a really it's an effective way, but it's more of an effective way to make people angry and disappointed. And anger and disappointment does lead to switching of political parties, but it doesn't lead to firm believers. It leads to people that are just angry at certain people. But that's not the point. The point really is, I have fear, to create fear. And fear's just a weird variation of anger. Well, not fear. Anger is a variation of fear. In most cases, especially in politics. Anger is mostly a variation of fear. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Anger and fear create extremely rash, impulsive people and impulsive decisions. We can see that in our most recent election, Biden. And I'm not blaming anybody for being fearful. And I'm not blaming anybody for being angry. Don't get me wrong. You are perfectly in the right to be afraid. In this day and age, you have your right to be afraid. You have your right to be angry at certain people. But people on the left were afraid. They were afraid of the COVID-19. They were afraid of Donald Trump. and they made a very impulsive decision to vote in Biden. And I believe the media or whatever you want, but I'm pretty sure everyone can admit the fact that Biden's a bit of a creep. Biden is a little bit incoherent. Not a little bit. Incoherent. Biden has not made very good decisions so far. And that was an impulsive decision. And that is proof that, I mean, I don't even really have to explain that anger and fear make impulsive decisions. Anger and fear also have been used mostly by revolutionaries, rebellions, and that kind of thing. And it's worked, and sometimes for the good. And people focusing legitimate, like, anger and fear that has already existed is a good tool. Because if people are already fearful and angry, then if you have a good cause, obviously you're going to want to focus that. Now, whether manipulating people's emotions for your own cause is a good thing, no, but it's a good tool. But creating anger and fear, creating fear and creating anger that didn't exist is a bad thing. Besides the point, right? Anger and fear exists in American politics like it never has. Like it hasn't since the Civil War, when a country split in two, and was the deadliest war in American history. It hasn't been this fearful, and obviously it's not as fearful as people and angry as people were in the Civil War, but it hasn't gotten to anywhere near that level since. But it's pretty bad, pretty bad. And honestly, I'm not gonna say this again, but I feel almost like one side represents anger and one side represents fear. But both have it, obviously. But you can see where I'm coming from with that. But anger and fear is terrible. It's not good for our political system, because that's exactly how people take power. That's exactly how people take power. That's exactly how people take rights. That's how people justify taking over. That's exactly how people justify invading other countries, doing horrible things. Anger and fear. People are angry. Let's take, of course, immediate jump for any political view. It's immediately jump to Soviet Russia and a Nazi. But either China, Venezuela, Cuba. Almost like buzzwords, those regimes now, almost like buzzwords, but they're good examples, so I'm going to use, they're good examples, honestly, so I'm just going to use Nazism at this point. Everybody was already angry at Jews. They already were they were already fearful of Jews, because in Germany, they just lost World War I, major loss. Germany was in a terrible situation. Their government was terrible, awful, and people were trying to place it on something. People were already angry at Jews, the Jewish people, because people perceived that they controlled all the banks, or all the lawyers, and so they were angry at them, not justifiably, obviously. And what happened, really, was that Hitler took over. Well, Hitler was vice chancellor, or whatever the German word is, and he said that it was a Jew's fault. Well, once he took over, once a chancellor died and he took over, he said the Jews he didn't outright say it, but through propaganda, perpetuating this myth, he convinced people that fascism and one sole government and one leader, Führer, was the way to go. That was just the way to go. I mean, like, why the hell wouldn't you want to do that? Obviously, you know, yeah, you gotta support the Germany. Gotta kill them all. I mean, like, they're taking over everything. They're like hellspawn. I don't know. We're like the cool people. We're the cool guys. We gotta kill everything. You know, that's awful. But I mean, that's pretty much what they were saying. In short, I don't want to get into big into Nazism, because that's not my point behind the video. But you get what I'm saying. People were angry at the government. People were fearful of the Jews. And so Hitler used that to be sole leader of Germany, and pretty much sole leader of the entirety of Europe for a couple months, maybe even about a year. he controlled France, a bunch of Eastern Europe, Germany, and obviously had his allies, but he almost had control over Italy. So, I mean, like, he pretty much controlled vast swabs of Europe. And I'm just saying, well, there's not enough evidence to support that somebody, I don't know if it's right or left, but some people are more inclined to believe that it's the left, but that is trying to take over. There's not enough evidence yet, but to be fair, I don't think there was a lot of evidence during dystopian takeovers that people were taken over until it was too late, and people were sorry until there was evidence that they were taken over, not that they were being taken. Let me rephrase that. There was evidence that they were taken over, not evidence that they're being taken over. So probably people don't know it until it's too late. But as I was saying, there's not enough evidence yet. But the amount of anger, fear, rioting, protesting going on right now, it creates more fear. You hear what I'm saying? Like, the amount people are angry, so they protest, they riot, and which creates fear on the other side, and then the other side protests, riots, and that causes fear. It's just an cycle, and it also probably doesn't help the matters that either side thinks either side is gonna take over the world. Like, the left believes that the right is bogging down humanity, not progressing, not scientific. They're just completely stupid idiots. Right. Go back to the beginning of the video, I was talking about that. And the right believes that the left is evil. It's pure evil. Like, dystopian. They're trying to monitor everything. They're trying to infringe on people's rights. That kind of thing. And some points on either side do make sense. There are some people on the right that are fucking total idiots. Right, there's some people on the right that are total idiots that don't, like, the extreme right, that are total idiots that I don't understand. I feel like majority of them are satire. That's how bad that some of the people on the right are. But I also believe that, like, I don't think the average leftist, like someone on the left, is trying to take over the world, obviously. Because I only believe that the people, the senators, maybe not even the senators, but, like, the presidents, those are the people that I write, whatever, believe that might be taking over trying to enforce the dystopian. There was something about the FBI and that the school system could report parents for speaking out to the FBI, and I don't know if that was entirely true, whether they were speaking out or if it was being, like, aggressive and stuff to the FBI. But I just want to say the FBI is, like, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The only times they ever handle anything is if it's a very serious crime, like mass murders or like serial killers, that kind of thing, or maybe sometimes natural disasters, right? Or if a crime is committed by a same person, or if a crime moves out of the U.S. or moves between state borders, that's when the FBI gets involved. Or if someone's trying to be tracked or they monitor, sometimes they have the right to tap into phone lines, tap into the internet, text messages, that kind of thing. They have the right to, unfortunately. But they do. So sometimes they do. But my point behind saying that is that the FBI has the ability to track pretty much everybody. Like, obviously, there are cases where people are really good at hiding, and they're able to completely block off their connection to the FBI, change how their face looks, or just not show up on anything, right? But they have, for the average Instagram posting Gen Zer, they're able to track you. All right, I'm just gonna say that, which is why I try to keep my social media presence kind of on the down low, because I just don't like being tracked, honestly. But point behind that is that the FBI can track anybody and can put people on watch lists. That's kind of the point of the FBI, is to monitor terrorism, that kind of thing. That's kind of what the FBI does. Also, the Department of Homeland Security. Now, it seems a bit weird to call the FBI because a middle-aged white woman is getting a little frisky outside the school building. oh my god, we gotta call the FBI, we gotta call the SWAT team, we gotta get him down. But it's a fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous, first of all. Downright, it's just ridiculous, first of all. But it's also a little bit scary, because why wouldn't it just be the local police officer? Why did, I don't know if it was a president or a senator, I forgot who it was, but why would they specify the FBI? It seems a little bit strange, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I just don't. Nobody does. But it's just a little bit strange. Just a little bit strange. A little bit. I don't know. It's still, it just hits me in the wrong area, you know? It just doesn't seem right. But basically, all in all, I think that right now we're in a political situation where anger and fear is the leading cause of everything. Anger and fear determines everything. There is nothing, I don't think, there's nothing in this country that is solved by legitimate debate. Everything is determined by anger and fear. Everything. And that is what I believe. Maybe it's not. Again, please, leave your comments if you disagree with me. Show evidence that it might have. I might just be the particular news media that I subscribe to, or the YouTube videos that I watch. It could just be that. It's just the particular point of view that I'm seeing, and I could be being manipulated by people trying to make me fearful, and angry. But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like right now, anger and fear determine everything. Everything. And I mean everything. I don't like everything politically, everything governmentally, all of that. I think anger and fear determine just about everything. But again, if you disagree with me, you know, feel free to. I have nothing against disagreeing. In fact, I think healthy politics has a side that has an equal view, that has a different opinion, and with both sides can discuss, debate logically. But regardless, that is my belief. Thank you for watching, Apple. Leave a comment, subscribe if you want to. See you.